Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Tarot with Training Wheels. This is lesson 7. If you're new here, welcome. I definitely recommend you begin this course with lesson number 1. There will be a link to the full Tarot with Training Wheels playlist in the cards and in the description box down below so that you don't lose track of the lessons in this series. But now, this lesson, we are going to be diving into the Cups cards, Ace through 10. So let's get started with our Ace. Remember, in this single keyword method that I'm sharing with you in Tarot with Training Wheels, the goal is to just have one word that kind of generally gives us an idea of what the card means, and then to build it over time eventually from there. Remember, we're just going for working knowledge here, nothing perfect, nothing accurate. We just want something that works for us. So if my keywords don't resonate for you, if you don't like the word or it doesn't make sense, feel free to pick something else based on a lookup of what that card is supposed to mean and pick a different keyword that you think will be better for you. Now, with that said, let's get into it. So one thing I want to say right off the bat is that all three of these cards are showing the Ace of Cups how I like to see it, which is overflowing. The Ace of Cups is often an abundance of emotion. Remember, the cups are the suit of emotion, the element of water. So we're dealing with our feelings. And in the Ace of Cups, I like to see it overflowing because my favorite keyword for the Ace of Cups is blessing. Some kind of emotional blessing is coming our way or is being offered to us, and we have only to say yes to it. That's all we have to do. So is our cup full? How is it full? Who's filling it? This sort of question is great for the Ace of Cups, but I love blessing. I really feel like often the Ace of Cups does represent some kind of blessing in our lives. There's more to it, of course, but this is a great starting knowledge of the Ace of Cups. In the Two of Cups, my favorite word here is partnership. It's not always a romantic partnership, but I think often in the Two of Cups, we are seeing that connection and attraction and love sort of budding. It's the beginning. It's only the two, but it is the kind of commitment to one another that we're just starting. So not quite that full commitment of like the Lover's card, but certainly a shared attraction. And there's an equality to this card, which I always look for and appreciate when I see it. But I love the word partnership, because it doesn't imply that one is more important than the other. They're equals. And I think that's important in this card. But we're definitely dealing with our relationship with another person in this card. And so the word partnership definitely works for me. In the Three of Cups, we often see a few figures, usually 3, and they're usually toasting or celebrating something. And to me, this card really epitomizes sort of friendship or friends getting together celebrating something. I like the word celebration because it definitely implies the sort of joy, play, and happiness that I often see in this card. It may not be a celebration specifically, but I think that's such a great word to start with, and it really gives us an idea of what's happening in the card. Here we have 3 squirrels playing, each with their little acorn cup thing, and here we have 3 guys together hanging out and having some wine together and bonding over the wine. So I think celebration definitely works, but you can obviously take that word deeper depending on what you see in the card or what you build in your knowledge bank over time. The Four of Cups. Now, a common keyword for the Four of Cups is boredom. And I think that's because we often see somebody who literally looks bored in this card, or who looks like they're just oblivious to what they actually have. There can be like a lack of gratitude and a lack of awareness for sure in this card, and there certainly can be boredom, but I like to think of this as comfort, because I think what leads to boredom is comfort. I think we get comfortable with the status quo. We get comfortable with how things are, and we have a comfort zone. When we're in our comfort zone, we may not offer the 4th cup that's off to the side or the new blessing that's coming our way. We might miss it because we're comfortable and we don't want to shake anything up. So we're comfortable, but we may not be content. We may not be fulfilled, but we're comfortable. So I like comfort for the 4 of Cups. For the 5 of Cups, this is where we start to see some upheaval in the realm of emotion, and we often see some sort of grief or sadness in this card. Even in the Tattoo Tarot, we see tears going into this cup. Here, we see somebody kind of head down over spilled wine glasses here. And here we see 3 broken acorn caps, but there are 2 good ones still on the branch. There are 2 good cups still on the table. There are 2, well, all these cups are upright. I was going to say there's 2 upright cups, but they're all upright. But the point here is that a lot of times the message of the 5 of Cups is, yes, you're dealing with loss and you need to move through that loss and experience that loss and the emotions associated with it, which is grief. But there's still something that remains. And that's usually the message or lesson of the Five of Cups in my experience. But the word grief, I think, is a very appropriate one for this card. And remember, we're not always grieving like the death of a human person or the death of a beloved pet. We're sometimes grieving the ending of anything, or something that we know is that we've lost. So grieving doesn't have to be always just about death. And I think that's an important reminder that we grieve lots of things in our lives. And maybe we're so caught up in the grieving that we're not seeing what's left. And that can be a really great message in a reading. So grief is my chosen keyword. In the Six of Cups, we often see some sort of idea of play or playfulness, or when things were good kind of energy. I like to use the word reflection here. Here we've got somebody looking back or looking out at their children playing. Here we've got squirrels kind of looking back at a time when all their little cups were full of flowers, question mark. But there's this idea of sort of when things were simpler, or when things were easy, or even just what the past was. Sometimes it's just about memories. But I like the word reflection because often in the Six of Cups, there is a certain amount of looking backward that we're actively doing. And so that word really captures that energy for me. In the Seven of Cups, we are faced with some indecision. We often have a great many things we feel like we could choose, and we don't really know what to choose. There can be an element of sort of being a little bit in fantasy land in this card for sure. Here, the cups that they're trying to choose from aren't even real, while there is one real cup beside them. So there's sometimes a little bit of a loss of touch with reality happening in the Seven of Cups. But overall, we often see somebody trying to choose between 7 different cups, each one having a little something different in it. We kind of see that here in the, I was going to say in the squirrel card, in the Oak, Ash, and Thorn, where this one has like a pearl, this one has like a little light, this one has some honey or some fluid, but there's also a snake wrapping around some of these, and there's like a little flame here. So what do I choose, and what are going to be the consequences of that choice? So I like indecision because we're really hung up trying to like figure out what's the right move here, and that really sort of captures that energy. The Eight of Cups is a really powerful card because it often shows us how even something that we are emotionally attached to, or we feel strongly about, or we're invested in, we may recognize is not for us any longer. Like maybe it served us for a time, but it doesn't now. And so we often see somebody leaving a stack of 8 cups. And those 8 cups is all of the emotional energy that we've invested so far, but we're leaving anyway. So the word that really captures that for me is departure. I feel like we're really capturing that energy of like, I'm going to move on from this. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to depart from whatever it is that I've been spending my energy on. So I really like the word departure. Ah, yes, the Nine of Cups. This is one of those cards that really means a lot to me personally. And one of the words I really like for the Nine of Cups is contentment. There's lots of words I like for the Nine of Cups, but that's one that I feel like really captures the energy of the Nine of Cups. It feels as though we have everything we could want and we are content. We can't think of anything we still need. We're good. We're good. Here this guy's got all of this wine and he's got a smile on his face and he's relaxed and he's happy. He's content. Here we have a squirrel surrounded by all their little cups, content, happy. There is a sort of peace and calm to this card, a quiet gratitude for what we have. That's the kind of contentment I feel here, and I think it really comes through in the artwork, but the word contentment really works. It's the 9. We're not quite at the 10 yet, so it's maybe not perfection or anything, but we're pretty close. Like, we're feeling pretty good in this point. You might also hear references to the 9 of Cups being wishes fulfilled, that sort of thing, but I like contentment. It's so relatable, and that's what I like about that word. Finally, we have the 10 of Cups, and here is where we have our final emotional fulfillment. We have our family, things are good, there's peace, there's joy, there's happiness. It's as close to perfect as I think the tarot deck gets. And I think because of that, sometimes it's kind of a little suspect to me, if you know what I mean. It's like, wait, that's a little too perfect. I think I'd rather have the 9 of Cups sometimes than the 10, because the 10 feels so unattainable sometimes. The 9 is like, okay, yeah, this feels pretty good. The 10 is like, this is amazing. And that can be a great feeling, but sometimes to me it feels a little bit fleeting. So you can tell I need to talk with my hands. Have you guys noticed? But I'm a hand talker. What can I say? In this card, we have a family, it looks like, with a little baby nursing. Here we have this adorable little squirrel family, and I kind of love that these two squirrels have hearts on their backs. I think that's so cute, and a rainbow of cups across the top. You will often see a rainbow in the 10 of Cups, and I think it's just that nod to the perfection of the happiness and joy in the 10 of Cups. But I like the word fulfillment. It's like all of our wishes and dreams emotionally have been fulfilled. We have everything we could possibly want. We want for nothing. And I think that really captures that energy really, really well. Okay, I think by now you know the drill. It's time to spend some time with your Ace through 10 of Cups and the keywords that you've chosen. Spend some time thinking about those words, making sure you're happy with them, journaling them. Don't forget, if you decide to change your mind, you can take a little bit of alcohol usually and wipe off the Sharpie and just rewrite it. If you're planning to cut the borders off, you can even just cross it out and write next to it. Whatever way you think so that your keyword makes it onto this card or onto whatever you're using as your sort of flashcards for this exercise. But in any case, spend some time with the words. Make sure that they sort of make sense to you. Make sure that if this visual was covered up and you had nothing but the word to go off of, such as with the 3 of Cups, you'd be like, celebration. Okay, that word makes sense to me. I know what that could mean in a reading. That's what we're doing here. That is your homework. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, if you're enjoying Tarot with Training Wheels and you want to dive even deeper into this method to really make it your own, then definitely check out my Tarot Bootcamp for Beginners course, which is over at supportivetarot.com. Thank you so much. Please do remember to click the like button if you enjoyed this video or you found value in it. Subscribe if you're new here, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you're notified of all my future videos. Thank you again for joining me, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.